vrising release has brought a lot of new awesome stuff, including new materials, plants and much more. That's why I've described the best locations for every resource you can farm in vrising, short and simple. This is Aiming for Gaming, and today we're aiming for a knowledge sharing. Copper ore can be extracted in large quantities from the copper mine. Don't overlook chests and remember to consume a worker to boost the resource yield. The copper mine is the most actively farmed place in the early game, so an alternative way to get copper is to visit Bandit Copper Quarry or Bandit Copper Camp. Sulfur ore is obtained from the Bandit Sulfur Quarry. By the way, some nodes are surrounded by explosives, which obliterate them with a single precise shot. If you require a substantial amount of copper or sulfur at once, the Transcendum mine is exactly what you need. However, exercise caution, as the enemies there can be formidable. Whetstones are commonly dropped in bandit encampments. The bandit armory is also a fantastic place, since you can collect not only whetstones but also stone dust, which is essential for crafting whetstones. Whetstones are almost always found in the chests here, and occasionally they drop from barrels or enemies guarding the areas. Iron ore can be extensively mined in two locations, the Haunted Iron Mine and the Iron Cave. To access the cave, you will need explosives or the bear form. I recommend using the bear form for an additional reason. These mines are guarded by rock elementals, but they won't attack you if you're in bear form, unless you provoke them first. Additionally, the bear form enables you to break the massive deposits here, which yield a substantial amount of iron. Elementals here also drop iron if, for some reason, you desire more from your run. The Haunted Iron Mine is a much more challenging place for mining, with all the chaos unfolding everywhere. However, unlike the Iron Cave, it contains chests with other valuable items like sulfur, gems, gravedust and books. Nonetheless, the abundance of enemies and the burning ground make this place less preferable than the Iron Cave. The ideal location for Quartz is the Quartz Quarry, which boasts numerous nodes and workers that enhance your resource yield. Silver ore can be obtained through two methods. Firstly, there are several nodes in the Silverlight Hills, mostly around base plots. Secondly, you can venture into the silver mine by navigating around and accessing it through a secret passage. The fastest way to obtain tech scrap is to visit Transcendum camps. Here you can destroy scrap piles and also get depleted batteries as a bonus. Another location worth exploring is Rustlock village, where each house usually contains 1 to 3 containers filled with tech scrap, mutant grease, coins and scrolls. Ghost crystals can be obtained by mining nodes in the Cursed or Ancient village, both of which offer a plentiful supply. Additionally, spectral dust and other valuable drops can be acquired from mobs or found in containers throughout these locations. Gold jewerly can be obtained in Bright Heaven, either from chests or from enemies, especially if you visit the square or cathedral. However, beware that these enemies are the most formidable foes in the game. Blood crystals are awaiting you in the form of nodes in the Dracula's Demise. Bones, mourning lilies and the occasional gravedust are abundant in the Forgotten Cemetery or Infested Graveyard. Make sure to search graves and containers, as they often hold valuable items. As a bonus, some graves may reveal rats. Scourgestones, along with more mourning lilies and bones, can be found in Dunley Monastery, the Church of the Damned, as well as the houses in Cursed or Ancient villages. Dunley Monastery features multiple containers, each typically containing 1 or more Scourgestones. However, this place is protected by holy radiation, which can only be resisted by crafting a holy resistance potion. The Church of the Damned appears to be easier, as you can collect chests and search graves here. As for the villages, you'll eventually need to visit them for ghost crystals anyway, so you can gather Scourgestones as a bonus. To farm both mutant grease and tech scrap in large quantities, you can take advantage of the ongoing battles between mutants and humans in the Gloomrod zone and collect their drops. These fights occur frequently near the radiated water, providing ample opportunities for gathering resources. However, the most convenient area for farming is undoubtedly the Pools of Rebirth. Here you'll encounter large groups of both factions engaged in combat, resulting in quick drop collection. Another option is to process gloomwood, which yields planks and mutant grease. Oil and fish bones can be found in the Mosswick village, Rustlock village and Bright Heaven docks. Or you can simply turn any fish into oil and fish bones by processing it in the blood press. The better the fish, the more oil you get. An alternative way to get oil is to process hollow wood, which yields planks and oil. Depleted batteries are farmed in Transcendent camps or by defeating various machines in the Gloomrod zone. These can then be charged at the Storm Drain Hills or Thunderstrike Peak, 10 at a time. Stygian shards are available at the South Fortress ruins and during the first phase of Rift Incursions event. Greater Stygian shards can be found at the Dracula's Castle Garden and during the second phase of Rift Incursions event. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, lending your precious like would be my best reward. There is no specific place to farm early game gems, so just check out the roads for notes. Mid-game gems can be mined in the Bedrock Pass as it boasts numerous veins rich in precious stones. For endgame gems, venture into the veins of the two Harpy nests located in the Silverlight Hills. However, prepare yourself for tough battles as these areas are infested with angry mobs. Also, you can put jewels you don't need into the Devourer and get both gems and gem dust. Rugged hide can be discovered in the Bandit Trapper camp, conveniently located near the Waygate. This location is filled with cages housing wolves and bears that drop the hides, allowing you to farm them all in one place instead of searching for them in the forests. Thick hides can be obtained from dogs and various creatures in all regions except Farbane Woods. For example, bears, moose and wolves in the Hallowed Mountains drop them in large quantities. Pristine hide is dropped by creatures in the Cursed Forest, especially in the lurker dwellings. Alternatively, you can pay a visit to Graceful Village at night. During this time, you can eliminate the villagers when they transform into werewolves, as they drop a decent amount of hides. Ensure that you carry out this task at night, as they revert for their human form with the first rays of sunlight, resulting in human drops instead. Silkworms can be found in the Spider Cave, where both spiders and cocoons drop them. Cocoons also contain various loot, and sometimes even people and spiders. Bat hide is dropped by enemies in the ruins of Mortium. They usually come in groups, easily filling your pockets. The Gleaming Meadows is undoubtedly the best location to gather fire blossoms, blood roses and snow flowers. You'll find an abundance of them there. Hell's clarions can be found in Bear Cave, as well as in various mines, such as the Copper Mine and Haunted Iron Mine. For cotton, wool, cloth, sunflowers and the occasional valuable worker with good blood quality, follow a clockwise route through several farms, starting from the Waygate and ending at Dawnbreak Village. Wardrobes in these farms often hold copper and silver coins, books, fish oil and much more. Witch huts offer a supply of ghost rooms. Lair of the Behemoth is also a viable option. An alternative way to get them is to process cursed wood. Sacred grapes can be found in the Bright Heaven vineyards. You can either cut them from the vines or collect them from containers. Mourning lilies are growing in cemetery zones, especially in the Forgotten Cemetery. Another option is to pay a visit to Dunley Monastery. Bleeding Heart is pretty common at the Dracula's Castle Garden. Plague briars are found in the woods of Gloomrod. However, the most convenient farming spot for plants is your own garden. Simply plant the seeds and easily harvest the plants every once in a while. Utilize excess plants as a source of pollen, which can then be converted into coarse threads. You can obtain paper by farming bandit camps, scrolls by looting militia encampments and Rustlock village, and schematics by searching army outposts. However, keep in mind that you have a lot of sawdust from wood processing. By combining sawdust with plant fiber in a paper press, you can efficiently produce paper, which serves as a great farming method. Once you have paper, it can be further converted into scrolls. And if you have a surplus of scrolls, they can be converted into schematics. Also, you can put books you don't need into the Devourer and get scrolls in return. You can construct tombs and vermin nests in order to cultivate certain resources such as silkworms, mutant grease and scourgestones within your stronghold. However, it's important to note that this method requires other resources, so it's not the same as acquiring them freely in their respective zones. The same rule applies to the Summoning Circle, which yields books, gems and whatnot. Additionally, you have the option to dispatch your servants on raids, which can yield a substantial amount of resources in the background. Nonetheless, it's important to remember that these operations are time-consuming and limited to one active raid per zone. Resource farming becomes significantly easier when you have a worker with a decent blood quality. If you happen to have a worker with less than 100% blood quality, you can improve it by feeding them irradiant gruel. This will boost their blood quality by 1 or 2% at a time. But there is a 35% probability that your prisoner may undergo a mutation when using this method. So there is a certain element of risk involved, and you'll need to weigh the potential benefits against the possibility of losing your prisoner. In the endgame, an alternative to blood extraction is using blood Merlot. This option consumes fewer health points and induces less misery, making it a worthwhile choice for acquiring blood resources. Instead of farming for resources, you can simply buy them from traders. Copper coins can be spent in Farbane Woods. Silver coins go as the main currency in Dunley farmlands. Gold Sun coins will let you buy stuff from the market area in Silverlight Hills. To carry more silver coins without burning alive, you can drink Silver Resistance Potion. Equipping bags increases the amount of safely carried coins too, and even the resource yield later on. When harvesting crops, it's advisable to use area of effect attacks to collect multiple plants simultaneously. Some farms have garlic protection, which may debuff your vampire, but you can mitigate this by using bear form, increasing your garlic resistance and allowing for faster recovery. Alternatively, you can craft a garlic resistance brew once you've learned the recipe. Finally, don't underestimate the power of trading cards. If you will find one, definitely try defeating the guards and breaking the card itself to reveal a chest full of valuables. I hope with this guide you have achieved what you were aiming for today. For more guides, simply visit my channel and consider subscribing, it's that easy. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.